What's your life goal, and have you achieved it?
Yeah, I married you.
Aw, gross.
You really need to go out there and make sure the whole world hates you.
My butthole is all over the internet.
A fine wine, she keeps me in the basement and pulls me out when she needs me.
If I drink Sambuca, he's getting it.
I bought a case.
You can tell a lot about a person by the way their tits, pussy, or dick looks.
You come near my cheeks and it's not going to be a good day for you, homie. This is going to be special.
Welcome to the Two Onions podcast with Dani Daniels and Vic.
What's up, guys? I'm Dani Daniels, and next to me is my husband, Vic. And with us today, I mean, your setup is like so, you're looking so sexy.
And bougie.
Romi Rain is here.
Hello, everyone. This is kind of my designated cam room. So
I love it.
I had to have one so it stays nice. That was the first thing
I did when I moved to Florida, is I was like, I have a cam room, like a shoot room, if you will.
It changes the game. It really does help. Everything just kind of already set up, lights waiting for you.
Yep.
So wait, you left New York.
Yeah.
How was that like?
Yeah,
oh my God.
We're Floridians now.
We're Floridians, yeah.
I mean, I don't mind the humid weather. Some people are like very anti-Florida because it rains, but it's warm. But I kind of love that.
Yeah,
it's just, I also love the atmosphere of New York. Was it hard to transition? Now I want to interview you.
Yeah, we got out of there because we didn't like what New York was turning into. It's going downhill pretty quickly, and we just were like, I miss the New York that I grew up with and love with, but it's not the same anymore. And we're like, okay, beach living doesn't suck.
Yeah.
You know?
No, and is it like true? Just really property is like better. You can get more bang for your buck.
Oh yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like it's insane. We're used to living in such a small space. Like now we're like, hello.
Yeah, it's like screaming.
I haven't seen you all day.
Get a workout. I love that.
Our dogs are like, this is crazy.
Oh, our dogs, like, we're, like, exhausted the first couple days from, like, exploring everything. Like, because they're Frenchies, so they don't like, you know, they don't even like to walk, let alone.
Yeah, let alone shoot across a house. You know, they used to 1,200 square feet. We like almost triple that. They don't know what the hell to do with themselves.
No, it helps with the exercise. Like, I just have cats, but, like, I moved into a place that, you know, has stairs.
Yeah.
And, like, it changed the game for that, too. They finally lost a little bit of weight. It's great. I mean, yeah. Pandemic moving was a good idea. Like, I moved literally 2 months before everything started to shut down, and I'm so grateful I did. Like, was the pain in the ass moving?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially,
I mean, it's a distance. I don't know how far you moved, but, I mean, we're moving pretty much straight down the coastline, so it was a little bit of a nightmare, but
yeah,
we got it done. And moving in a pandemic, we were moving from an utterly closed place to a completely open place, so there was all kinds of craziness.
it was just a shit show, to be honest.
Yeah. So Florida's open though. It's just let's do this.
For the most part.
Yeah, you know, like people are doing like the mass inside and stuff like that, but like for the most part, it's pretty open.
Yeah, the indoor dining is open.
Cali? I don't know if you want to disclose where you are. Are you in your secret lair?
Still, yeah. I just moved from like an apartment to like a house, but like farther away from the general mid LA, and it was almost kind of the same thing. It's like what I'm paying for like a 4-bedroom house with a pool is what I was paying for a 2-bedroom apartment.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You're like, wait a second.
And especially like when you create your own content, you're like, I can't shoot in the same 3 spots one more time. I'm going to lose my mind. So it's like, at least like with you, what we were saying in the beginning of the episode is like, at least when you have your own space in your own room, you're like, oh, I'm going to set it up as this month or like this way so.
Yeah. Need the space for content creation, especially now being locked inside the house. Like, thank God you have a couple of rooms to shoot out of. Oh, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, in your backyard, and that's about it, right?
Yeah. It goes me, too. Just, like, one room or one corner of, like, the apartment. And there's only so much you can do with that space, and then you just go stir crazy. You realize how important space is this year, for sure. Like, I need a little bit of space.
It also made us realize our marriage is pretty strong because we were locked down in New York for a long time. I mean, it was like 4 solid months of 1,200 square feet, her, 2 Frenchies, and then the occasional bodega trip for a bagel. That was about it. That was all you had, and we were fine. So it was like, okay, yeah, strong marriage, that's good.
No, that's awesome. That makes so much sense. I was joking about that with like other friends. Like, this is a really great way to test relationships. Like a new one, an old one. Like, can you stand being around each other? I love that.
And I mean,
I liked it. I was like, I don't know.
And it's
Except
not
for
like
when I was shooting and I was like, shut up. can hear you
Right?
breathing.
Can you just like go away for a while? I'm like, no, I really
No, I
can't.
can't really. Yeah, I can go to the other room. That's about all you got. Yeah. And that was the thing is like you not only are you around each other, but you're around each other under the best of not under the best of circumstances. You know, middle of a pandemic. You know, crazy shit going on outside your window. It's like.
You can barely groom. Can you get your nails done?
Oh, yeah, no,
You're
yeah.
looking at me at my worst. Like,
Yeah. It's like.
Yeah. I almost had the opposite situation. I started the pandemic single, so I was like I got really excited, ready to shoot. I got like all this new space. I was gonna travel in 2020. And I was like, oh, this is perfect. My life is exactly the way that I want it to be for a while. And then it was like, okay, now you're just gonna go fuck yourself literally for about 9 months.
Yes, exactly. Literally, go fuck yourself is a serious.
That's 2020's motto. Is just go fuck yourself.
Exactly.
But it's fine. It's fine. We're getting through this.
So
how's it been for you guys? Like general, everybody's been okay. Nothing too crazy around.
Yeah, not
luckily.
too crazy. You know, I mean, we're dealing with it like everybody else, one day at a time. See what happens tomorrow.
Luckily, I married someone that cooks really well, so it was fine.
Yeah, and that you know.
I was like every night, I was like, feed me, please.
Yeah, I'm about that. Like I was thinking that too. Like, man, it would be so nice to date somebody who can either cook really well or who's a really great handyman who can like help me build stuff or put things together.
Yes. Yes.
But very practical. I think that's how we know we're growing up too. It's like the little things, the important things, like space and getting things done is really like,
and a good plate of pasta.
And a good
plate of
Can
pasta.
somebody just like feed me and like move this big light rig? I'm tired.
Yeah. Fuck me occasionally. Like I'm good, you know.
Simple things.
Okay, so I have one of the most important questions to ask you.
Okay.
Are you going blonde?
Yeah, you know what? That's kind of my little 2020 boredom like change. It's always been my dirty secret little fantasy that I'm like, what's that world like? Because I've always had like really, really dark hair. And I've started the process and people are like, oh, it's not blondie. But for me, this is like this kind of honey almondy color that it's even hard to see on camera is the lightest my hair has ever been as an adult. But I got like just so nervous that I'm like, I wanted to do it really slow because I don't want to completely fry.
Yeah, it like
have to
trashes
chop
your
off my
hair, right? If you bleach it, it'll just like,
I had like 24 inches of it like before the first like foiling. And oh my God, it took hours. I was like, oh my God, it's tough work being like a blonde. But next month around my birthday, my next appointment should be like more the blonde stage. But I really didn't want to have to like get a bob, which is what most people have to do. If like, I want to go blonde tomorrow. It's like, okay, you can do that.
Yeah.
But you're going to lose half your hair and it's going to feel like ramen noodles. So
yeah, right. Yeah, not a good thing.
But yeah.
I saw when you posted the photos. First of all, I didn't know it was a wig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like you looked you look amazing as a brunette, don't get me wrong, but like usually people look like good in like one color. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like there's like that's their color. So I was assumed like brunette is your color because you look amazing in it. But then I'm like, showing you, like, oh my god!
It took me a second. I didn't recognize you.
No,
I really didn't.
It's
got
super.
that from
like,
people.
oh.
It was weird. No, everybody thought it was like real, and I was like surprised. I'm like, wow, you guys think I did that really fast? Thank you.
I know I'm like not good at hair and makeup at all, so I was like, I believed it. When you're like, it's a wig, I was like, no, I liked
That's the biggest compliment. Like the illusion, like make you believe it. I've gotten a little better with that stuff in quarantine, like makeup and like grooming. But I was surprised at the positive reaction because I expected it to be somewhat polarizing. That's why I was playing with the wigs for a while. I thought people were gonna be like, what did you do?
Yeah.
But like even then it's like, well, who cares if it's what you want to do? But I was actually surprised, like, wow, you look surprisingly decent. And I'm like, oh my God, I love that. Decent.
You actually love me. Wow.
Well,
I love minor compliments.
Especially when you have like a look for so long in porn. Like once you break that, there's like that fear of like, oh, is this gonna like mess up my fan base or my income?
Yeah.
Or, you know, are people gonna hate me? Even though like
You're
I
gonna
agree,
hate me
you
for
should...
changing my hair.
Yeah.
They can. Sometimes people are very fickle. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
But then sometimes you change all this other crap about you. And I'm like, hey, man, I came into the industry a bit fake. So, like, what's the other things? Like, I would joke, people would talk about, like, well, I missed you when you were a little bit more natural. I'm like, babe, I've never been natural. Like,
No.
I love, like, the natural look. But, I mean, I came into porn with a back full of tattoos, fake boobs,
like, no, I don't put you
nails.
as natural in any category. No offense, but.
I got a natural attitude. My attitude is 100%.
I have a very real personality,
Yeah.
but like you're like, no, you guys will never see me with like real tits and stuff. I would joke that the realest thing about me was like my hair and teeth. I'm like, it's the basics. But yeah, I'm like, why not? Let's be like a blonde slut for 2021.
I love
it's an
it.
experiment.
I want blonde slutty Romy back. I'm into it.
I'm excited. Yeah. I just wanted to have like slightly long, healthy hair. So we're taking it one step at a time. But it's not bad. I'm enjoying the little transitions. I feel like a new person.
Yeah.
You'll go
It's like when you like dress up for your man almost and you're just like, ooh, like you're like role play Romy. We're like
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, it's like a different attitude. When I had the wig on, I felt like I was evil Romy.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
ooh, she's
You
a
should
little
do
bitch.
I don't
like
know
her.
how you would do it, but like you should do some sort of scene where like you shoot half of it before and then the other half after you go blonde. And like somehow
that
like
would be
edit
fun.
them. Like,
I've thought about that. Yeah, we're just put on like a dark wig and take off the dark wig. People were like, well, what happened to Brunette? I'm like, she's in my basement. We had to kill her.
I'm the twin sister.
Oops, I know. Sorry, it's my time to shine. But isn't that really 2020? I feel like a lot of people are changing things around or deciding on a new lifestyle or just doing things that they really wanted to do because fuck it.
Yeah.
Because what else you got, right?
100%.
At this point.
Yeah, like what do you have to lose? You're stuck inside anyway, so you might as well take the opportunity.
Yeah, I feel like if nothing else, this year has taught us to like, cultivate what we love and what we want and to take care of ourselves and make sure that our world and universe is what we want it to be and comfortable and something that we want to be in, especially for you could possibly be trapped in it for a full year.
Yeah.
Make sure you're happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did
Good
you start
decision.
did you start doing Twitch during 2020 or before?
I started technically before, but I've been on Twitch more in 2020 than any other time. I kind of just started.
I
But
didn't
it's
know.
fun. It's something else.
Do you play video games on there, right?
Yeah. I've been in like a little bit of a gamer nerd for a while. I always played like RPGs and like fighting games and racing games. So yeah, and it's fun. It's a really easy thing to chat while doing. So, and I would almost kind of be talking to myself if I'm playing games anyway, like, oh, you're son of a bitch, you're so stupid. I can't believe this. I don't believe this storyline. So it's really easy like to just have somebody kind of just watching and listening. It's another safer work thing because I'm not very good at TikTok. You're awesome at TikTok. It takes me too long to do it and I get frustrated and want to throw my phone.
And then when you take a long time during a TikTok, it always flops. And then you get pissed because you're like, this took me 3 hours, damn it. But the thing you do in 2 seconds does well. TikTok's, I don't even understand it.
Yeah, it's fun though. I love just scrolling. I have an
yeah.
account that I don't use, but I have it basically to just watch other people's.
You're a TikTok voyeur. I love it.
Yes.
I love it.
I just want to see what other people are doing with themselves.
Let's be honest, it's the Italian attitude coming out. What, this took more than 5 minutes now with this shit? I'm done with it.
Like, oh my God, this took like all day. I'm like, can I just like sit here and just talk shit about it? Like, no.
Yeah, it's much easier.
Mildly easy shit.
I had no
But
idea
I
you
love
were a
it.
gamer.
Oh, what?
I had no idea you were a gamer.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've had every system growing up. I had like all the PlayStations, Nintendo 64, Sega, Dreamcast. Dreamcast was underrated. I'm more of a PS person now. I feel like people who like Xbox because of the Halo franchise, but PlayStation's just better.
Yeah.
I still haven't been able to get the PS5 yet because it's sold out everywhere. And every time I try, it's sold out within seconds. But PS4 is still fine. I just started playing Cyberpunk. I announced I was probably going to play it later on today since I was putting on makeup for you guys. I'm
Yeah.
like,
I do the same thing. I'm like, well, I have on makeup, so like, what else can I do?
Exactly. That's kind of the way I work nowadays. I'm like a bulk worker. I wish I could do stuff every single day, but that became kind of overwhelming for me in the pandemic. And I just like some days you're like, look, I just want to sleep. I just want to hang out. I don't want to get ready. I don't want to talk to people. But when I'm in the mood and the zone, I'm like, all right, right, we got the face on, we got some coffee, like
Mhm.
let's make some use out of this day.
I'm
So,
with you. I'm like, I like 2-3 days a week with makeup, and the other 4, I'm like, no. I'm either doing computer work, doing housewife shit, doing like you sleeping in, like, yeah. But it's like, if I have a makeup day, I'm like, what can I do? Sun up
Yes.
to sundown and knock it out.
I feel like it's very business. It's like, all right, this is a work day
Yeah.
in a way now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like I'm going
Yeah.
to I'm going
I
to
got
work
my whole
today.
face on.
The
I'm
face on.
Yes, war paint. I'm about to take it on. Let's do this.
Yes.
Let's make it happen.
Okay, what's your Twitch handle so people can follow you?
It's the real Romi Rain. Somebody stole Romi Rain.
Not
Shocker.
They don't even use it.
Shocker. They're probably going to use it to scam somebody.
Honestly, on Twitch. And so
Yeah.
people are like, oh, I didn't know you were on Twitch. I'm like, but I advertise it on my premiums. I know you deal with this all the time,
Oh,
Dani,
yeah.
but it's the most frustrating thing
Oh yeah.
when people find you on your verified profiles to complain that they got scammed by a fake one.
Yes, we just had AJ Applegate on, and she said that we were talking about the same thing. It's like, yeah, it's like you took the time and energy to come to my real page.
Why
You
didn't
did
you
the
do that?
research.
Yeah. Why didn't you do that to begin with?
Yeah.
Obviously knew I was here. Is
Exactly.
it just because that like WhatsApp account was responding? Like,
Yeah,
no
it's
shit.
wild.
Like,
If
You
you-
should
they
have done a
said you
Twitch.
didn't have a webcam. They said your phone didn't have FaceTime. I'm like, you believe I don't have a webcam?
Yeah, I'm literally on it right now, but I don't have one.
Like, okay.
It's wild, like the things that people believe. But you should have
Yeah, I
done
try
your
not to get
Twitch handle
mad,
as
but-
the fake Romi Rain. People would have believed it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they'll follow
Not the
that
real.
one instead. It'll be like a legit _ Romi XXX Rain
Yes,
number
yes.
4. Like,
Yeah, 3865. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
but it said legit, and I'm like,
Exactly.
Yes,
Like
yes.
God forbid you get deleted somewhere and you try to make up another username. It's like everything is taken.
Yeah.
yes. Oh my god, yeah, the backup accounts that I have, like, yeah, it has to be like the only Romi Rain, the real Romi Rain, like
Oh.
assholes, it's me, I swear.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's what it needs
That'd
to
be a
be.
good-
Yeah. Hey, asshole,
Yes,
it's
you
real.
Stupid pricks. Hey assholes, it's Romi Rain, honestly.
Yes.
And just me holding up a picture as proof. Yes.
Yeah.
I would believe that over any other account.
That one, yeah, that one I'd be like, okay, that's Romy.
And as soon as we
It's
post
gonna get
this,
there.
yeah, but as soon as we
Watch.
post this,
Because
someone's gonna
I
make it.
try to, I love my fans. I appreciate you guys so much, but sometimes I'm like, help me, help you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there was, in all out honesty, though, it's not it's really not the fans. It's somebody from the outside who just they get scammed, and in a way, I kind of feel bad for them. But then some of them, I'm like, man, you're a few Google strokes away from the reality. Like her wiki page,
Google strokes.
yeah, exactly. Her wiki page literally has a paragraph in there about scammers. It's on the
Oh,
damn,
really?
yeah, it's literally on her
That's
wiki page. So it's like you don't have to go far. You don't really have to
Didn't
go
somebody
far.
try to sue you
Yeah.
once?
Yes.
As Dani Daniels?
Yes,
Yeah.
they
They
sued me
sued
as
Dani
Dani
Daniels.
Daniels. I was like,
It's
hello,
like
you
suing
fucker.
Al Pacino and calling him, Vito Corleone or
Yeah, I'm gonna sue Rocky real quick
Yeah.
because he made me believe that he
Exact-
really loved me.
Yeah, exactly. And I roasted that guy because I was like, oh no, this ain't gonna be the new thing of me going to court all the time. So I
man.
fucking put that guy through the ringer
Yeah.
on social media.
countersued him.
On anywhere I could. I was like, look at this idiot. Don't be like this
Oh,
idiot.
shit.
Yeah.
You could probably win a countersuit like that though if they're really trying to mess with you and get in
Yeah.
your personal
Yeah.
life and all
Oh, yeah,
that.
it
The
was
whole
like-
thing got dismissed. The countersuit, he wound up having to declare bankruptcy. He was a national
It was
disaster.
horrible. I mean,
And
I
it's
feel
like,
bad for the
I
guy,
felt
but I'm
bad
like,
for him, but
you idiot. Like when
You
you,
It's a
found us.
national disaster.
when the whole court starts giggling when they say like so and so versus Dani Daniels, everyone's like,
Who's that?
yeah, it's like.
they're like on Pornhub.
And the best part about it is the lawyer stood up and said, representing Dani Daniels, they turn around, they see this monitor. Our lawyer's like 6'5". Turn around and saw him. Now they really laughing. They're like, oh, this guy's Dani Daniels. Okay, sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was
It's
just
like,
a shit show.
that's my real name. I know. Imagine they sue somebody and it's like they get the wrong person and yeah.
how do
Oh
you
god,
sue
didn't-
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
There was some guy named like Al Pacino that's like, god damn it
Yeah.
again.
It's like,
I'm sure there's a male Dani Daniels out there.
You
though.
would imagine,
Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't involved in this. Oh my goodness.
Oh,
It's so
it's such-
wild,
Oh my
yeah.
god.
So
Yeah,
We try.
I need to talk about my favorite and most attractive feature that you have.
Oh.
You're a Yankee fan.
Oh my god.
I was like, uh-oh. Yes, yeah. And I was raised in Boston.
And you were
so that
raised
does
in
put a little
Boston.
bit of
That just
controversy.
warms my heart. It just makes me so happy.
Well, I always preface it that I'm more of a hockey fan and I do like the Bruins.
Which I understand.
But yeah, the Yankees are just a better baseball team. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
They
no
just
argument.
are.
Did you have to like give up your ID when you said that publicly the first time? Like,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
I mean,
no.
yeah. So people are like, excuse me.
You're
And
from
I'm like,
where?
I'm sorry. It's like, it's all New England, so in some ways, like it all works. There's just that friendly rivalry.
Yeah.
I mean, you
Yeah, it's
know.
like Boston and New York. It's like total sibling rivalry.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
We love
we-
to hate each other.
but we're the only ones who are allowed to do that. Other people can't. You know, you can't pick
Yeah.
on. But only New Yorkers can pick on Boston. That's the rules. You know.
Yeah, you can't like fuck with Boston or New York unless you're in like the same vicinity.
Yeah,
and
you're
Yeah.
the bubble.
you know what you're talking about. I mean,
Yeah.
come on. That's why it's fun together. I mean, that's why those are the most fun games to go to are the rivalry
Oh, yeah.
games. Like you want to go to a Red Sox versus Yankee game because
Yeah.
it's going to be high energy. People are going to be into it. Like,
To
Like,
the
even
very end.
Yeah,
to the
like
very
even
end.
if you're not into a sport, I would still go just to watch. Like just to
Yeah.
watch the, like the two sides and wear a neutral color. Don't get beat
Go in
up.
there wearing green.
like where's she from? Yeah, she's wearing like a Packers jersey. Like, what are we doing here?
Are you
But no,
lost?
it's fun. I love that. I mean, yeah, because that's just, it's high energy. It's fun. I feel like, sports, I don't know that this is controversial, but sports is a little bit more interesting on the East Coast. Like people talk about it. I'm like,
I think
nobody
it's-
really cares in LA.
Yeah, like it's more of a I feel like the culture is stronger on the East Coast. I don't know why, but yeah, like 'cause I
Yeah.
grew up on the West Coast and now I live on technically still on the East Coast, but it's just like
Mhm.
yeah, it's like a different. It's more you guys. It's more about your life. I don't
Yeah,
know. Like
well,
on the
I-
West Coast, you're like, yeah, sure, I'll go to a Laker game, like whatever.
But I think it's
But-
also because it took a long time for this. I mean, it was the 50s before baseball made it out to California, and we've had the Yankees since
Oh, okay.
1918, And so I think
I
it's
think
just
that's a
been
good point.
ingrained,
Mhm.
Yeah, it's something that people did. It was like a legitimate like pastime activity to go to like a baseball game or a hockey game. Like people don't do that out here. Well, it's LA, so like the Lakers basketball. I feel like
Mhm.
people care more about basketball in
Yeah.
California, but
yeah,
on the East
especially in
Coast,
LA,
yeah.
it's a basketball town.
Yeah, LA's absolutely a
Definitely.
basketball town. They,
And hockey.
Yeah.
A little bit hockey because Gretzky came there
Oh,
a while
please.
ago.
The Kings suck.
Yeah.
Fuck the Kings. Say that into the microphone.
Yeah,
No.
the-
LA people act like they like hockey when the Kings are winning, but LA people don't give a fuck about hockey. And the Kings
Spoiler alert, they're like that with every team and every sport.
Except the Lakers.
True, though.
Except the Lakers. LA's a Lakers town. It always
the
has been.
Lakers, yeah.
Yeah, it's always.
obviously.
But I mean, the Kings. When the Kings got Gretzky, it became a thing, and then when Gretzky left, no one ever heard of the Kings again.
Exactly.
It's like-
Who talks about the Kings and hockey? That's the thing. If you know anything about hockey, nobody talks about the fucking LA Kings.
yeah, right.
Excuse you.
Same thing with football teams. I mean, they've had football teams run in and out of LA. The Raiders were there, they left, and Chargers are there
You know,
now.
they're
the
in
Ra-
Vegas, right?
Yeah, they're in Vegas. The
so.
Rams left, they came back. It's just Whereas New
Yeah.
York, we've had the Jets and
Okay.
the Giants forever.
Yeah,
have-
yeah.
I have to
The
ask
Patriots
you
are a
because
big deal. The Celtics,
Yeah.
like the like there's all this shit that's in this one concentrated area, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
LA has its own stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
I have to ask you because as soon as I
Please.
tell baby Dani that you're a Yankee fan, she's gonna ask who your favorite Yankee is of all time.
Oh, I mean, well, back, I was, of course, an A-Rod person,
Yeah.
back in the day. Jeter, come on. I mean, like, that was the kind of the golden age of the Yankees when you had,
Yeah.
like, A-Rod and Jeter on the same team. I mean, those are the most fun. Those are
Yeah.
the most fun. And then and honestly, too, once the Red Sox started winning a little bit, then it became an even bigger kind of thing as, like, the Yankees were losing players and the Red Sox were doing better. That almost made it even more a little bit fun.
Yeah,
It
it's
is
like
more
more
fun.
of a challenge as
Yeah.
opposed to like one team that just like wipes everyone out. You kind of want to see a little bit of a battle. Yeah.
As much as I
Yeah.
love it when the Red Sox are in dead last, I do miss it. I do miss it when it's a rivalry, when you're looking every day to see if they won and you're going to be, you're only a couple of games apart. It's a lot more fun than, but there is something that's like pleasurable about, oh shit, you only won 50 games. Sucks to be you guys, man.
I know.
Oh,
That's
God.
why it was fun to be a Yankee fan back in the day. Because it's like, well, how can you hate on the winners? Like, they just keep winning. Like, I'm sorry we're so great. If you can win one in 60 years.
It was a lot more fun. Yeah.
I know. It was fun. But then, the Red Sox started winning. Then that was, a big, awesome thing, too, because they talked about, the curse. The
Yeah.
Red Sox thought they were a curse for a while.
Mhm.
And yeah, so to like come back from that, Boston is a really fun town. I mean, in general, but especially when people are like excited and happy, you know, the whole Boston strong thing. Boston is like a city that thinks it's a state. Like Boston thinks it's the caliber of New York.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
That's the energy that Bostonians have.
Yeah.
So like when the Red Sox won, it was like, you know, fireworks went off for the whole city. So
that's always been about, it's the three cities, Philly, New York, and Boston. They all, it's just a constant fight between them. You know, which one's the better city, which one's like the other one.
Philly, like, legitimately
we could throw Chicago in there, but...
Yeah, but Chicago, I mean, it's Midwest,
They're
you know.
too far.
I always used to say, Chicago's kind of like, it was founded by New Yorkers that, you know, loved the congestion and the crowding, but it wasn't cold enough. So they had to go to Chicago. It just wasn't cold enough, you know.
No, I love that. Only Chicago thinks it's a part of the East Coast.
Yeah.
They're fun.
No, they're right in the middle,
They're
too.
fun
I mean, they're like
people.
literally right in the middle. You know?
They are, but it's so funny. They always like, it does get really cold and really hot in Chicago. I don't mind. The accent's kind of cute. I'm always going to have a thing for mildly East accents.
Yeah,
I
love Chicago. I always love Chicago.
Yeah. Because they're all a little different, like Chicago and Philly and Boston and New York. Like it's all, I feel like I can just hear them a little more. Like more on the West, we all have like this blending of conversation. There's a lot of slang in Los Angeles, but there's not a lot of there's no like, you know, no accents at least.
No, I feel
Valley
like
Girl-ish,
yeah, people just talk like
East.
longer.
Everybody talks funny in their own way.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so I have some fan questions for you. If you're up for it.
Yeah.
Okay, if you could have drinks with any celebrity, dead or alive, who would it be?
I could have drinks?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I mean, I think, you know, might be a cliche answer, but I'd love to just like pick Marilyn Monroe's brain. She's always seems smarter than people gave her credit for. Some of her quotes are really good. You know, I think she definitely probably passed too soon, obviously. So I'd be interested to like chat with her, have like a real conversation, you know? Especially with drinks. You know, get a few drinks and somebody like Marilyn, I feel like she would talk.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
That would be, I feel like she would be a good one to be. I'm always like very fascinated with like women who have like kind of gone through stuff, especially like entertainment and industry, and especially being sex symbols. Like she was, you know, one of the first like big sex symbols of our time. And went through a lot of shit and like was arguably taken advantage of and kind of maybe used a little bit by some of the industry, but obviously was a very strong, powerful woman. So I feel like that'd be interesting. That'd be a good drink.
Yeah, agreed. I never would not think of her off the top of my head, but after hearing that, I'm like, ooh, yeah, because you like I want to know like the real story.
Yeah, I want to have like, you know, mildly tipsy conversations with her and get some like real details on some stuff. Who was yours when people ask?
Mine would probably be Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Ooh, fun. Oh,
I like because he makes everything like easy to understand. And I feel like just, you could have a deep conversation with him and not get like a migraine from it.
You just try to break things down. I mean, you could still talk to him though. I mean, hey.
Yeah. It's like, hey, call me.
He always seems kind of fun. He has a sense of humor. Very Bill Nye in that sense.
Yeah, I love Bill Nye too. He'd probably be my second choice. 50-50. Who would you pick?
That's a good one.
Jesus Christ. I would absolutely want to. I almost want to go, okay, do you realize all the shit that's happened in your name? And just see what he says. It's like, just, you know.
What's that about?
It's true.
Like, or do you feel like disappointed in any way?
Yeah,
I actually meant, sir. Or is this what you intended?
This, you know.
That's a good one.
That's
classic.
A really good one. Okay. Favorite video game?
You know, I would probably always revert back to say original Final Fantasy VII, because that was like the first game I really played that was like really in depth and interesting, and it's an RPG and a lot of characterization. It's like it wasn't, because for a while too when I was younger it was all like, you know, fighting games and like boy games, but like once I kind of discovered like the RPG style games and like really character driven, then that's what I really started to get into it more. So I'd probably say Final Fantasy VII, and I'm always gonna have like a thing for like the Mario and Sonic games.
Yeah,
that's what kind of
it started me into it.
Yeah. What's RPG?
Yeah.
Role play.
RPG role playing game.
Okay, so you can like make your character into like basically it's not like a one streamlined game. You can kind of like go. do stuff.
Yeah, you're much more like as the character. In some games more than others, especially nowadays as technology, you know, and games are getting so much better, like Detroit, Become Human, or like the new game Cyberpunk. Oh my God, that one's crazy. You can literally even like adjust pubes and penis size and boobs. I wish I was kidding.
Is that
Somebody
the one
told
you're
me that
playing now on Twitch that you were talking about earlier?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. You can like, some of them are so in depth that you literally, adjust everything about the character from like their physical, their personalities, what they're more likely to choose. And then sometimes like, you know, you get choices of things to do and why and where, and it affects the outcome of the game. It's very interesting. You know, it's almost like those books where it's like,
choose your
one or the other and then
yes.
skip to page 74. It's like that, but in a game.
I would 100% play a dude with a huge dick.
Yeah, I know, right? I was joking with like,
Not a shot.
the dick small. Nobody's made. Well, and then a girlfriend of mine was like, I'd make the smallest dick and make him so pissed.
True, he'd have so much rage, he'd like kill everybody.
Killing everything, yeah.
That's true. Yeah, the guy had a big
That's a
dick.
good
You just sit
idea.
around getting laid all day. You'd be like, I guess I'll do that later.
Yeah, you know, it's like, fuck it. I understand. But yeah.
I love this question. I've never heard it. Is your soul satisfied?
My soul satisfied. Ooh. You know, I mean, if I was being honest, I'd probably have to say no, not quite, because I still have, you know, desires to do more and see more and experience more. I do wake up, you know, content in the sense I have very few regrets. So there's very few things that I would take back or do again, but my soul is still hungry for more out of life. I don't think my life is over yet, and in that sense, so I'm still excited about the future. So I feel like, no, I don't know. I want to still be excited and curious about more in the world. I want to travel a little more. I want to experience a little more. I want to meet some more people. I'd love to have more sex. So, you know,
Yeah.
I wake
Can't
up
argue
feeling
with any of
good.
Yeah, speaking of sex, how long does it take you to come? I'm
It
assuming they
depends.
mean like if it's not
Am I
like
alone?
yeah, I'll paint you a picture. You're alone. There's no camera.
You can't get to the Hitachi.
You're living your best
There's
life.
candles.
Yes.
Candles.
Am I making love to myself?
Maybe a
am I
glass
just
of
like-
wine.
Okay, how long does it take to come if you got shit to do with the day? And how long
I mean, if I have a Hitachi, I can come within like a couple of minutes. You know, I feel like it's the magic wand for a reason. You know, but it is more fun to stretch it out a little bit. Like almost the longer you can like delay an orgasm, usually the better sometimes. If I'm not in the mood, I can like it's not going to happen at all. You know, I think it's a very female thing, right? We can kind of control our orgasms in a way. I don't know if it's the same way for guys. I'm not quite sure, but
Not
like
really.
if, you know, if I'm turned on, you're like, you know, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Even if somebody says something in the middle of sex to turn you off, you're like,
It's
ooh,
true.
I'm not gonna
Even
do
if they're
this
knocking
again
on the
for 10
bathroom
minutes.
door, it's still gonna work.
I feel like the getting in the mood is like pre-dick hard. Like if your dick's hard, you're in it.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Like once a dick's hard, it's like we're going to the finish line,
Yeah.
but like a girl could like stop midway. Yeah.
That's they always say, you know, guys are visual and women are mental. You know, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
there you go.
I do believe that.
Yeah.
I do believe that. I mean, I am a very visual person, but I think sex can be definitely a lot more mental for females. But it depends. I mean, I can come as easily as like a minute or like as long as like a half an hour, depending on what I'm doing or who with or what's their technique. I feel like the sweet spot is like when like if you're trying to is like, you know, 10 to 15 minutes, you know, like you
That's
wanna
the
feel like you're
average. They say
getting
like 10
somewhere.
and a half minutes is the average masturbation time.
Huh. Yeah, because sometimes you do have stuff to do, and you know I don't want to be laying there all day. And
You're like, oh, God, okay.
yeah, it's, you know, I have something to do later. I have an appointment, or like, you know, you're trying to get it on like a guy, and you're like, okay, well, I got like 5 minutes, and I got to take this call. Like,
Hurry up, dude.
Okay, describe yourself in 3 words.
oh man, that stuff's like really tricky because I'm so long-winded. Oh gosh, I don't know. I always have to be like careful because the part of me wants to be like, well, you know, I would want to say the word like opinionated, but I feel like some people like take that as like a semi-negative. I do, yeah, but I have a lot of like thoughts and
I get
feelings
that.
on
I
things.
can
Like
see
if
what
you
you're
ask
saying.
me a question, I'm always gonna have an answer.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like to say that, I'm probably like a little bit opinionated. I even like to say sometimes the word aggressive, but people sometimes take that wrong. I'm just like, I'm a bit of an aggressive speaker. I'm very animated, obviously.
Once again, the Italian showing up. You're like,
the hands. You have the Italian
Exactly.
hands.
I sit here holding, literally holding a stone so that I don't do this the entire time.
Oh yeah, or like they say, like hold like a cup of coffee or something, like hold it in your hands so then your hands aren't moving around so much. But for me, it's such a way for me to express myself. But I mean, shoot, then in that case, it just say like Italian, because then that would explain the first two words. I wouldn't have to say opinionated and aggressive. I could just say Italian woman.
Yeah, exactly. Italian Northeast woman. We're done.
Kind of, yeah. I'd like East Coast, like East Italian entertainer. All those things. Yeah, like energetic. I think that's a good word. But it's like I like give me like a big synopsis. That's too hard. Give me like 3 paragraphs.
Yeah, let me write an essay and then I can
3 words that describe myself. Doesn't follow directions at all.
Yes. Ew, rules. Word. What? Like, can I say 3 things? I have so much to say.
Okay, what makes you smile every day?
Something like basic and silly. I love like good smelling things. Like anything that smells really good always like makes me really happy and smile. I think it sounds kind of corny too, but sometimes like at least every day, usually there's something that like a fan says or something that happens like professionally that does make me happy and feel appreciated. Because you get it. We do this like every day, even if it's not every day. So it's like some, little random nice comments you'll get, or, people appreciating your content, or, hey, sometimes looking at your bank account, like someone was looking at, that makes me smile sometimes when things are going really well. I'm like, oh my God, this is all working. This is all paying off. So yeah, anything that like makes me feel like I'm progressing, as long as, life is continuing to go. So I'm like, anything that like smells good, feels good, tastes good. I like that. Almost that Italian blood.
Yeah. Missionary or cowgirl? I hate to ask this question, but I think it tells a lot about someone, because it's the 2 positions, like front or back.
Reverse cowgirl.
Well,
that's what I mean. Yeah.
Missionary or reverse cowgirl?
Oh,
yeah. I guess I wrote it down.
Nobody does reverse cowgirl in real life. I mean, for a few minutes. But I mean, like, come on. Like, that's definitely not my favorite position.
Unless you want to watch the television.
I actually love reverse cowgirl because I love bouncing my ass. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. But like, what kind of, not the reverse cowgirl where you're literally leaning all the way back.
No, not porn reverse cowgirl, actual
real life.
Actual real life reverse cowgirl.
Real life.
No, okay, so that's when you're kind of leaning forward, right?
Yeah.
Okay, no, that one's cute. But then you can do more too. I hate when I'm like, okay, balance on his chest.
And you're like, I'm like, my legs are like this. I'm like, okay, I can't.
Yeah.
And you have to keep your heels on.
Or if you if you like lean on your hair, you're like,
yeah, it's like they just, they see your back and your hair and that's it. But like, I mean, I get it in theory, because it's usually for the camera. If you're doing like reverse on film, it's like they want to see like your front parts.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're leaning forward, I think that reverse cowgirl can be cute. Or when she's sitting straight up, because it's kind of sexy. I do like that. But I mean, if I was gonna pick between reverse or cowgirl, I would probably pick cowgirl. Because then I can also like do a lot, and then I can just like bounce around.
You can use your hands.
Yeah, honestly, then I can like I can press my hands on their chest or like smack them in the face if I wanted to, and
multiple times.
I'm very present in that way, so that I could be very interactive. And then it's fun to just like kind of bounce. It's a way for me to expel energy. I mean, I joke about like the energy thing, but for me, that's another kind of reason that I got into the industry, because I'm pretty chill normally, or I really seek out like meditative kind of things like aromatherapy and ASMR and bullshit. but like things like, you know, exercise or stripping, which is why I really love dancing and feature dancing, and like sex, especially kind of porn sex, was a great way for me to expel a lot of energy in a very controlled environment, and then kind of go back to being like very woosah right after. So
Okay.
Hey, how you doing? And then it's like, hey, how you doing? You know, it's like, that's, I don't know.
It was funny, like, I love your ASMR videos, but I was so surprised when you started doing them. I was like, two things I wouldn't put together is Romi and ASMR. I don't know, like quiet, tappy taps, like.
Yeah. You know why? Because it worked for me. Because I like randomly discovered ASMR videos like a few years ago, and like I actually get the tingles. I get the little tingles down my spine. I can feel like kind of mushy and like jello. And like I said, I kind of seek out things that almost like relax me and like kind of bring me down. And I used to like deal with a lot of insomnia when I was younger. So it was like can be really hard for me to like sleep sometimes, not so much as an adult. But so I would always be finding anything that like can soothe me, relax me. And it's a very natural, weird thing that kind of worked. And then I kind of have a naturally low voice from what I've been told. So it's easier for me to talk a bit low. Like when we're at the conventions and shit, like AVN, I lose my voice like second day.
I remember like day 2, you'd be like, I remember you posting, if you're going to come see me at AVN, come the first day, otherwise don't.
Yes, I've told people that the first couple days are the best. That's when people are going to be their healthiest, their happiest. They're like, they're actually
don't come the last
there.
day.
Yeah, the last day everybody's
never
like.
go on the Saturday.
Okay, last question because I know we're short on time. But funniest set story.
Oh gosh, nothing too crazy. I mean, I'm sure I'm like gonna forget like some stuff. But I mean, I've had like moments where I've fallen naked backwards off of like couches and stuff, and you're trying to get into like a good position, and then you're just like whoop thud. When you're trying to like dress sexy, like off and on, like you know, you trip out of your clothes, or like I'm a secretary and I'm like falling out of my skirt, or you're trying to do something really like slow and erotic, and it's like it's taking me like 5 minutes to undo
like, I know that exactly.
Like that for 5 minutes. Little things like that, nothing too crazy. I did it's kind of funny, not funny, but I did a movie last year where I had prosthetics on my head, like horns. And I don't know, I'm not going to say anything was wrong with the prosthetics, but like it kind of didn't stick properly. So there was like this pocket where my sweat would accumulate. So I had like this whole like kind of over pocket like under the prosthetic. So I had to squeeze the horns down on my head, and then the sweat would drip down the front part of my face. And it was very funny, but I couldn't cool down because like my forehead was getting no release. So I was just like squeezing out these prosthetic horns, and they were just dripping all over the floor.
An entirely different version of porn squirting.
Yeah.
It was like warm and salty, and people were like, "Are you all right?"
It's going in your eyes.
No, I'm not good.
I went to the bathroom and like just squeeze my head out. So that was fun. And ironically, that scene is nominated for an award. It's always like
it's always the scenes you're like, fuck, really?
It's like that. I mean, it get great movie, cool, like great cast, all that. But I'm like, it's always so funny. I'm like, of all the stuff that you do, it's the things you don't really expect that get a lot of attention.
Or like, God forbid you have like an off day, that's gonna be the one. You're like, wait, that was the day I like felt like shit, wasn't feeling it. Just, you know, like the stars in the line, and they're like, this is the best scene. You're like, damn it.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my God, I've had performers say, oh, I hated that person that I worked with, or we didn't get along, we had no chemistry. And then it's nominated, and people are like, oh my God, that was so hot. And it's like, did people like that you were into that?
Yes.
What was that about?
All right,
I have a question for you, because I was chatting about this with civilian friends. What would you call the era that we kind of got into the industry? Because we were joking, me and like a friend who's like never been in the industry, but she's super supportive and awesome. Like, you know how like the 90s and early 2000s were like the golden era of porn, or so they said. Like it was the DVD sales, it was like big contract girls. And now it's kind of like the social media era in like in a good way. Now there's like more ways than ever for performers to make money, and probably better than ever for performers. So what was our era? Were we in the dark ages of porn like 10 years ago? Like when we had nothing really to help us besides like shooting? Because a friend of mine was like, God, with like, you know, OnlyFans and all these different apps and shit you can be on right now, and like your sites, like it almost helps. You have things to fall back on, things to do.
Because
like,
we were like the end of the magazine era, and like you said, like the beginning of the social media. So I really think like, and I don't mean this in like a cocky way, but I feel like we were like the grandfathered in era, because when social media started, we all had the following from like mainstream porn and magazines. And we were able to like kind of like get a head start, where I feel like as you start as a performer now, you might struggle with like building a fan base. We kind of got this like push that I feel like is more rare now. If that makes any sense. Yeah. So we're kind of like the founding fathers of social media.
You know what you guys are? You're like the Generation X of porn. You know, you have the baby boomers and the millennials, and then there's my generation in the middle, like, okay, I guess we're gonna. You basically kind of fix the shit. You're like you're the transitional fixers, you know.
That's kind of what we settled on, that we were really kind of like the transitional era, because it was like after, because I remember when I first got in, like, you know, I've been in adult entertainment for like over 10 years, but I got in porn 8 years ago. And I remember people telling me like, oh yeah, you just missed like the big boom. You just missed, people were making money. People were actually making money 10 years ago. Sucks to be you now, but here, come here and shoot the porn.
Yeah, you missed like, these $100,000 contracts, and when you would feature dance, you'd make 20 grand a night. And I'm like, cool, I'm so glad to fucking be here. Like, thanks for making me feel.
The post Jenna Jameson era.
Yeah,
that was it, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, kind of. Yeah, like the post Vivid Contract Girl era, but like before like the OnlyFans, like you know, social media era. Like my friend was like, damn, when you think about it, like you guys were like really brave. And I was like, we kind of were.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like the reason that porn is what it is now is because of our generation, because we kind of all heard, oh, we used to make so much money, now you're not making as much. And we all were like, what ways can we make more money? Basically. Exactly. And so like we started like hustling our websites, doing our own websites, hustling, you know, OnlyFans, hustling clips for sale, hustling all these little side gigs that became like the normalcy of porn. It's like, oh, I can get paid from Pornhub if I post on Pornhub? Okay, I'll post like, how can I get like $100 here, $100 there? Like I got rent to pay.
No, totally. Like we're kind of like, you know, the rebellious, you know, generation of that, when people were telling us like, oh yeah, nobody's making money anymore. No one cares what you think. Like we can call you whatever we want to on a box cover. And your solos aren't worth anything. We were like, oh yeah?
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
Cultivate our little fan bases then and like grow our platform.
And we had all the armies. We were like the army generation, like the so-and-so army, the so-and-so club. Everyone had like their own name for their fans. And we like made everyone into like a cult, and we're like, okay, buy all my shit. Don't buy their shit.
Well, I think we all kind of learned the value too of like being an individual, of like, you know, that semi-branding. It's like, well, we all totally can exist and we all can make money. And I feel like that's totally what's kind of changed the industry.
Yeah, we kind of forced it to change.
Exactly.
Every form of entertainment has gone through this though. You had the studio era and mainstream. And then the studio era, you know, guys started bucking against it because they were created and it fell apart. You had supermodels. Remember when everybody knew every supermodel, and then the modeling agencies decided that they got too much power, so they had to push everybody down, and then they fought back. Same thing with record labels and now independent. Same thing with you guys. You had major studios who created the Jenna Jamesons and whatnot, and then people started realizing, wait a second, you guys are making hundreds of million, and Jenna did well, but not compared to what Vivid did. And then everybody kind of fought back, and now you have social media where you're making your own money, and the studios are like, now what do we do? You know, so.
Yeah, I think
that's such a great point that like studios kind of created stars back in the day, but nowadays we're kind of creating ourselves.
Absolutely.
Social media, I had an actor on, and he was talking about the fact that like it went from like you go to castings and you hope people call you in mainstream to now like if you have a following, you just get hired. Because they want your social media. So now you kind of like build this up yourself instead of just like hoping that you're like, you get picked, you know, like.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely.
I love it. I wouldn't trade it for the world. Like if I could like place myself in any generation of porn, I would have picked this one.
No, I agree. I mean, I do think it's tricky for newer people like starting out too, like you said, like having to kind of really like build themselves up, especially because now it's like probably arguably more competitive in the grand scope, but there are more options now. And like, shoot, I mean, when we started, like, I mean, I want to speak for you, but like we basically had very little. Like it was like shoot porn and like feature dance, but like websites were barely making money. There was no model hub program yet.
You could
like,
maybe can, but there was like 2 sites and they took a huge percentage, so it was like
and it wasn't even like really almost respected back then. Like 10 years ago, it's like, what, you're a porn star who does like cam work, and it's like, why not? They're making just as much money. But like now our scope, our horizons have broadened, and I do think like,
and you can do whatever you want, you know, like you could, if you just want to make clips from home, you can do that. Whereas before it was like, well, I guess I have to do a bunch of girl because there's no other option for, you know what I mean? Where now it's like, you kind of definitely like your game, choose your own adventure. But porn.
Yeah. No, it really kind of is. I mean, it probably, in my opinion, is probably one of the better times to be in the industry if you're like an independent person and are willing to do all this. But but yeah, it was funny that it was my civilian friend who brought all this up, because even she was like, it's so kind of different, all the little stages and eras, like it seemed great way back then and seems really pretty good right now, but like, what was it like when you guys had so it's that morbid curiosity, and it got me thinking, I'm like, damn, we really were kind of brave. We're just like, all right, let's see what happens.
Roll the dice, we're gonna get this going. All right, you get stuck, you get to answer my questions.
Okay, ready? Yes, please.
Okay. First question. What's the most annoying question people ask you?
You know, I think like the more the repetitive ones, like I don't mind like the what's your favorite sex position. I think like because that can go into a funny dialogue. I would sometimes maybe like the well, what are you gonna do, like what are you gonna do next year, like, well, how are you gonna, or basically the how you are gonna like move on from porn and erase your career, like what is everybody gonna think, like what if you want somebody to love you, like, and I'm like, dude,
we talked about that on an episode, is the fact of like, wait, I can't be in porn for life. Why do I have why does it have to be like a chapter? Why can't it be, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. Why are they always waiting for us to leave and negate it? And it's like, I mean, adult entertainment's been my entire adult life. Like, I'm always going to be Romi Rain, really, no matter what. It's just how I cultivate that. And hopefully I can make money off of being Romi Rain for like a long time, especially in this era. It's entirely possible. So it's like, I didn't get into the industry like with thinking about the out necessarily. Like I really did get in thinking like, okay, this is a career, this is a lifer thing. If you want this to work out, especially again 10 years ago, you gotta do it, or not. So I mean, I usually get kind of, because then you always have to explain like, look, no, this is a career too. You can have a life, you can have friends, you can have loved ones, like people can love you in adult entertainment. Like it just, I feel like it's almost those cliche questions, like it blows people's minds, like, well, what do your friends and family think? Do you talk to them, or do you just hide in a hole and cry every night? Like is that what you think?
That you almost want to look at the person and go, oh, you're a doctor, when is that gonna end? When are you gonna when's that phase of your life gonna disappear? You know, it's like,
I hope you don't get Parkinson's, you know,
right,
like,
exactly.
Horrible things to say to people. It's like, but when you lose your looks, everything's gonna go to shit. It's like, but you could say that about anybody in any career. It's like, if a surgeon gets into a car accident and fucks up his hands, like he's not a surgeon anymore. But like the best thing you can do, you know, in this career is, like we said, like just try to build something from it. And you know, now we can make more residuals than ever in a lot of little ways. So if you make it worth your while, like you don't necessarily have to think of a complete out. Like I'm never gonna disown Romi Rain. Like Romi Rain is, again, my entire adult life. That would be ridiculous. And I know there's shitty people in the world, but the people that I like and like to be around, like they're not gonna hate me and judge me for being in consensual adult entertainment.
Exactly. Right,
exactly.
That's always the thing. That always annoys me. Like,
okay, what's
does anybody love you in your life?
like no.
I'm so glad you pointed that out. Thank you.
I'm gonna run away with you now.
Yeah.
You came to a porn convention and now you want to save me. But okay, that's all right.
Okay, what's your favorite way to eat a potato?
My favorite way to eat a potato, as French fries.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
Or mashed. I do love a good mashed potato.
What would the title of your autobiography be?
Oh man, I feel like I had a good one not too long ago. But I think somebody might have actually taken that. I think it was like a pseudo celebrity who like took my fucking autobiography title. Right?
You're like, damn it.
I'm not sure. I mean, I don't necessarily want it to be like too cliche, like through the rain.
I like that.
You can do it. I'm not sure. I think it would probably be something probably kind of funny. I would try to like have like a little kind of semi funny maybe title. I don't know. I actually really don't know. I've thought about that before, but it escapes me because I think I had one and it's gone
somebody
now.
stole it. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get there. I do want to write an auto bio, like just to do it. I feel like I missed that when I was getting into the industry. I read them all, like, because there wasn't a lot of like research either that we could do. So like I think having those resources is really important, especially like, you know, the good, bad, and the ugly. So I think it's valuable. Anybody that wants to
figure it out. Yeah. What was the biggest turning point in your life so far?
Ooh, biggest turning point. I mean, this year was definitely like a big a mental and like emotional change and like expansion of my world. I think when you go actually through anything like health wise or like little minor health issues, I had like a minor like health issue like 2 to 3 years ago that I didn't really talk about. That wasn't like a big deal, but it was enough that it was like a pretty consistent problem. And like I was in like a little bit of pain almost on a daily basis for almost a year as like things were like taken care of, and that kind of stuff really like changes your perspective and like focus on things. Like you really, and again, I'm somebody who's like really energetic and like loves to run around and do things, but then like when you're kind of suddenly like mildly bedridden for like a few weeks, or like your body isn't like working the way that like it should or used to, and you can't do the things that you're used to, I feel like that's a little bit of like a wake-up call in the sense like, okay, you need to make sure that you're taking care of yourself in every way possible, that you're appreciating everything that you're able to do. So I feel like it kind of, in a funny way, like changed my perspectives on a few things and made me like appreciate some things more. And then, you know, talking to people who like, we're dealing with like certain things or like chronic pain. Like I, you know, connected with some people who are going through like their own kind of stuff. And it's like, wow, man, that's like a whole different world and life adjustment. And you like to really appreciate what you have and to not be, you know, going through certain things. So I think like in a weird way, like when anything kind of mildly negative like happens to or around me, I take that in as like, okay, this has to be something of a learning experience. What am I understanding from this? What should I like do better and be better later? And like, so I feel like anytime anything negative or weird, or if you have like a crazy relationship and you know, that kind of stuff always shakes you into gear, like gaining friends, losing friends. I mean, this industry is a wild ride. It can be, you know, people again can love you and all that, but it can be hard to like maintain certain relationships and have trust with a lot of people because this is a very interesting industry. It's, you know, I don't like when people say that this industry isn't competitive. It's a highly competitive industry. I think there is a bit of, you know, there's, you know, good vibes, bad vibes. I do think it's gotten better again with like, you know, the social media era with all these ways people to make money. Now that everybody's shooting content together, everybody likes each other just a little bit more. I feel like people help each other a little bit more. So I do think the energy is better than before, but now I'm just like going on and on. But yeah, anytime anything like essentially really bad or really good happens, I do learn from that. But yeah, you do kind of really appreciate your life and your abilities if like you're in any kind of like discomfort or pain or have any kind of like physical things going on. So it upped my empathy in certain ways. Like if you go through an abusive relationship or a physical ailment, you're like, holy shit, I get where you're coming from now, where before I just couldn't.
Yeah, that makes sense. What are you most proud of?
I am proud of myself for kind of like sticking it out. I mean, I've always taken pride in the fact that like I got myself into this industry and I like really pursued this as a career. I've tried to make, you know, good decisions where I can here and there. Like we're not all perfect, but I am proud about like what I've been able to accomplish in the industry when I remember being told that I couldn't. especially, being newer, when they're like, oh, come on, there's no way. Like, why are you getting into this? What are you doing? You're not going to be popular. You're getting into, so I got into porn at 26 with a back full of tattoos.
You have too many tattoos, so you'll never be, it's like, seriously?
Yeah.
You're not a blank canvas, so it's, yeah.
No, it's so true. So I think, just pushing through like some of the stigma, and like, that's why like this whole new era, even like for me, it's like, wow, I can't believe this is real.
This is fun.
Yeah.
So it is pretty, so that kind of stuff is pretty incredible. And I'm also very, very appreciative, because I feel like, I don't take it for granted. Of course, you can have more and do more and get even more accolades, but I acknowledge that I've had like probably more good things happen than it's expected to happen in an adult industry career. Right. So I'm proud of what I've been able to accomplish in this crazy world.
That's great. What takes up too much of your time?
Gosh, honestly, like, it's the little things, because I can spend like a lot of time just like putting clothes away, or I could like, if you know what I mean, or like just the everyday kind of BS I can spend so much time doing. Or like if I'm doing my own makeup and I don't have to rush, I can just like sit there and paint my face like a canvas for like several hours. Editing, all that kind of stuff, editing, lighting, setups, breakdowns. I mean, especially this year, I've been like pretty much a total one-woman show, except when like the 3 times in the past year that I've been able to hire people to help me out with some stuff. So I think like everything is
makes sense.
A lot of like my time and energy right now.
Exactly.
I wish more of it was in bed.
What is your favorite smell?
Ooh, my favorite smell. I love eucalyptus.
Ooh,
It always reminds me of a spa. Yeah, like especially in like the steamy eucalyptus lavender.
I'll put some oil like in the shower sometimes, and it's just like, it's the best.
Yeah, cleans your things. What gets you fired up?
Gosh, a lot of things.
No.
In a good way or a bad way?
Yeah. That's your choice, whichever you think. Whatever comes to mind first.
Whatever gets me fired up. I love conversation, but I hate when somebody will have a conversation but won't give an opinion. I'm always like, what do you think? What do you believe? What do you want? Like, I need like responsiveness. Like, I need people to engage with me. If I feel like if I'm talking to somebody and there's like a wall up, I'd rather not talk with them.
Yeah.
So that frustrates me. Mostly that kind of stuff. People who don't use their blinkers.
That's an East Coast.
You would hate me.
That is an East Coast thing.
Oh, you don't use oh my God, use your blinker. It's
That's
right
an
there.
East Coast thing. That's
like,
an East Coast
growing
thing.
up on the West Coast, like if you use your blinker in LA, people will like not let you in. So you have to like
it's true.
Be like offensive. And then like when we moved to Florida, I started driving again. They were like, he's like, use your blinker. I'm like, they're not gonna let me in if I do. And like people here are a lot nicer, and I've gotten better, but I've had to like retrain myself. Like,
it's a little thing. Because I remember on the East Coast, I think they are like almost better at like the driving and niceties of it. Because I remember growing up, people would flash you. They would flash their lights at you if there was like a cop a little bit back. Like people would like literally warn you. I grew up knowing
That's
that.
Badass.
Like,
no, on the West Coast, they flash their lights at you if they're annoyed.
Yeah. If you were going the other way and somebody's flashing their lights, that meant they saw a cop up ahead. Yeah, there was like a whole bunch
warning
of
you.
That's
Which is
so
awesome.
cool.
People don't do that in LA. No one's ever gonna warn you that there's a
I've
cop
never
coming
heard
up
of that. No.
What do you wish you knew more about?
I mean, you mentioned Neil deGrasse Tyson. I wish I knew a little bit more about like space and astronomy. I find it very fascinating. I know more about marine biology, the psychology of people.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Final question for you. What's the one question you would want everyone you meet to answer?
Oh.
So you get one question, they have to answer it for you.
How do you want to be perceived?
Ooh.
I think
that. Because I'm a little something I have a problem with some people too is like when they need to be liked a little too much. because then that means they're not going to be completely honest about certain things.
Right.
So it's like, so do you want to be loved? Do you want to be known as like just who you are? You know, do you want to be feared? Like there's so many like ways that people kind of want to be known as.
What would you want to be known as?
Yeah, what would you want
yeah,
to be
how
known
do you want to be perceived? Do you want to be universally loved? Do you want to be, you know, just known for being
I think I would just want to be like kind.
Yeah. Known as being kind.
Yeah.
No, I love that. Yeah.
Like, I just want to be nice to people. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm Italian. I don't want to be nice to anyone. No,
I know, that's why I started laughing because I was like, I know he's gonna be like, the fuck.
Well, that's the funny thing. Like, I don't care. You know, like I try to be nice, but it'll bother me more if somebody's not nice to me. Like, I'm gonna be nice to you until you're not nice to me.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
But yeah, there's nothing more frustrating than somebody that they want to be almost too loved that it's like, you know, the saying like a friend to all is a friend to none.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you never, you know, I want to know like how
you
do
change
you
your mind for different people just to get on their good side type of thing. Yeah, it's just...
Yeah, that's a big frustration to me when somebody has a different opinion depending on what room they're in. And
yes.
It's like I get it. We're in entertainment. We're, you know, you got to be careful with politics and opinions, but like you do have to stand for something. You do have to have some degree of agency as a human being, or at least I think so. And I feel like that's almost what people expect us to not have in like sex work. It's like you don't have thoughts, you don't have like desires.
You don't have a brain. You're just all holes.
Yeah, you just
How
lay
dare
down and
you
shut up.
out of your mouth hole.
keep that hole shut and open up the other one. All right, shameless plugs. What are you plugging?
Hey, all the things. Shoot, I'm always like, Google me. I'm on the internet. I'm on OnlyFans. That's kind of the main platform I use. I feel like, you know, we're all on a lot of them, but I think everybody has like their main. OnlyFans is kind of my main. OnlyFans.com/Romi_Rain. Verified, though I don't think that people can have fake accounts on OnlyFans, which is great.
No, there have been. We've had to shut down a couple of hers. We've had to shut down a couple of hers, yeah.
Even though you're verified and it's linked and shit, like those still...
What they do is that I talked to somebody at OnlyFans. They start the account as a person, and then they switch it. And they put her pictures on it. So, but you can catch them pretty quickly, and OnlyFans will yank them down fast.
They're good about taking it down.
Yeah, I've heard of a situation where somebody was like taking names and like, you know, but adding like numbers and shit at the end and like DMing people to talk shit and insulting other performers using what seems to be a performer name.
Yeah, and they're like, this is my personal account and I just want to warn you about so and so. It's like, Jesus.
No, like
what is wrong with you?
Don't you have better things to do with your
life?
life?
Yeah, but then I also look like a dick now. Like, thanks a lot.
Yeah. People love to try to stir up like beef and issue. Like I feel like because there's almost not enough of that sometimes.
Yeah, we don't have enough shit going on.
Seriously.
Honestly, and I try to tell people too, I'm like, you know, people aren't your fans if they want to see you fight or they want to see you unhappy or they want to pit you against like performers or something. Like, because there's way too many people that like really enjoy when you see like people going at each other on social media.
Agreed.
And I'm like, that's not cute.
What's your Twitch name?
Twitch is twitch.tv/TheRealRomi Rain. Instagram is Romi Rain. It's verified. Twitter is Romi_Rain. That's verified. I'm on many vids. I'm on I Want Clips.
All the places.
All the things. I like it.
Yeah, most of the places. Like, in all honesty. Like, Google me, you'll find me. All my verified profiles are mainly linked to things, but... Yeah, I'm like anything that I have a YouTube channel. It's just like official Romi Rain. I don't use that enough. Do you use YouTube?
Yeah, this will be on YouTube.
This is on YouTube. Yeah, but other than like the podcast, I'm horrible.
Hey, YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're watching this on YouTube, just go click over and follow her.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah.
More. I
5-star
know.
reviews.
I know. Entertain me. Make me do things.
Let me have fun.
Give me compliments. I need positive satisfaction.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah. Give me like shower me in love and compliments and I'll satiate you with content. Yeah. It's that problem with always feeling like you can do more though, right? With every platform, like, you know, there's YouTube, there's Instagram,
you hit it on the head
Twitch.
though. It's like everyone has like their main. It's like you have your main page site and your main social media. Like once you start trying to do all of it, it just
maybe you like have a main and you have a secondary and then everything after that is just that whatever it
like
does.
I suck at Twitter.
Yeah.
Twitter is my weakness.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's bad. I'm
That's
really
so
bad.
funny. I just like Twitter because it's the only place really that you can post not safe for work
You
content.
can put anything there. Yeah, it's the Wild West. Yeah.
Yeah, which is great. I
Yeah.
mean, because you never know, all these other platforms keep like getting their new restrictions or shutting down real fast, like, or I don't know. Have you done? Well, I know you've been kicked off of Instagram a few times.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. She hasn't been
Oh,
not
yeah.
good since she got
Not good.
verified. It's been fine. But
Yeah.
I think you were on number 10. This was like the 10th one she
Wow.
started. Yeah, it was like crazy.
I even tried like having like my username be like nothing Dani Daniels in it, and it still was just like
Yeah.
a shit show.
Yeah, wasn't it like Whiskey and Darwin at one point or
Yeah.
some crazy shit like that? Yeah.
I remember
by
when
the
it
way,
was
you can
Sucking All the
follow me
Dicks. That
at
one was good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sucking All the Dicks was a good name.
And then I was gonna change it to like sucking one dick when we got married.
Sucking just one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
But thank you for coming on.
No, thanks for chatting. I know we're probably chatting longer, but you know,
That's
it's
fine.
fun. I'm like, let's just talk.
Get my book. Romi's in it. Romi's
Oh yeah,
actually
wait for the corn.
yeah, Romi's
Yes.
actually in the book, so
In there, we're talking about life and love and the pursuit of happiness. And
Yes.
that you can date and love and marry a sex worker.
What a
That's
concept.
crazy.
I know. Like
We're lovable, guys. Like it's
Yes.
yeah, we like
Surprisingly.
relationships, and
Yeah.
you know we're really good at sex, so it's a win-win.
Yeah. And you're kind of such like a homemaker too. Sometimes I see you like, you know, you're like putting up like pictures and stuff all day. Like you're painting, you're decorating. Like, I
know.
love that.
Oh, yeah.
I am
she's
the
horrible.
hoe housewife.
I love that. You can turn a hoe into a housewife.
yeah. Or just be both at the same time. It's
Yeah.
even better.
Hoe and housewife. Like a little
Yes.
slash. Come
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have
A little
to. This
slash.
isn't an either or thing. This is not an either or thing.
Exactly.
I love
Lady
it.
in the streets, freak in the sheets.
Yes.
exactly.
Yes.
No, you guys are awesome. You guys are like, you know, industry couple goals in the sense
Aw,
that like
thank you.
there should be. I'm glad you guys like speak and you're on display and you talk about your relationship because like that was always such a huge stigma too. Like I feel like the more people talk about, you know, that we can be normal people while also
Yeah.
being crazy entertainers, but have happy, successful lives and around good people that care about them. That's great. Like you
Yeah.
guys are like a shining example of a
Thank
important
you.
couple.
I always wanted
all
to be a
did
shining
fine.
example of something in my life, other than just the top of my head. But
Yeah, look at you. That's awesome. But no, it makes us all look good. So thank you. Thank you for being like stable, healthy people. That's really cool.
I do it for you.
we sacrifice all
I
of this for
appreciate
you
it.
guys.
Oh
It
my
is the
gosh.
little things. I mean,
Yeah.
because this industry is smaller than we give it credit
Oh, yeah.
for.
Yeah.
Like, it's big, but it's small. People do pay attention to like what's happening, and
Yeah.
it's nice that they don't always have these bad stories to pull from because I feel like that's what society and media really likes to latch on.
Yeah,
to.
any,
But it's
any
like,
kind of ammo that they can grab onto.
Oh, it was I mean, coming in as a civilian, it was a wild ride on how small it was because we go places and other performers that I, tertiary knew would go, oh, I know who you are. I mean, she didn't even have to be around. She wasn't even near me. They'd go, I know who you are. And I'm like, what?
So you're like a mini kind of pseudo celebrity in your own right too.
Yeah, and only because I'm next to her.
Well, yeah, naturally,
Yeah.
for sure. It's like, oh, you're that guy in Dani Daniels vlogs.
Yeah,
Holy
it's
shit.
like-
Yeah, but it's funny because like even
What's your
my,
name?
Yeah, my
Yeah.
TikToks will do better if he's in it. And I'm like, excuse you.
Interesting.
Yeah, because I'm getting tortured. They're like, oh, she's torturing Vic. That's great.
The safe word is no.
It's the good torture. I see you're dancing around. I'm like, who doesn't want that? I want somebody to just dance around me all day long.
Exactly.
Yes. That's beautiful. What a lovely life.
Oh, I love it. It was so good to talk to you and
was
see
great
you.
to see
So nice
you.
to talk to you guys too.
Yay. I'll see you.
We'll talk
Hopefully
again soon.
Yeah,
Yeah, hopefully we'll be able to see each other in person in, 2021.
Yeah, no, I love that you live in Florida because there's a few people that I like in Florida. So
Come
like I'm
see
always thinking about
us,
little yes,
Florida.
it's like there's
We
little
got-
reasons to go.
We got a big house and a guest room now, so come hang out.
Yeah.
Love that. Oh my god, this is what I use as my guest room.
Yeah,
too.
I
And
was like,
it's
you can
nice
stay in
to
my
have one.
homeroom.
You can actually come over.
Yeah, you could come stay in our cam room. It'd be
Yes,
perfect.
honestly. I'm like, I only masturbate on this bed.
I
so
watch
it's totally
the
fine. I'll
sheets.
change the sheets.
Yeah.
It's great. Oh no, I love that. It's, XBiz Miami was supposed that was fun like the last couple of years.
Yeah, we
It's
saw you
fun
there.
stuff,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like, yeah, hopefully this upcoming year.
Yeah, we'll be able to do
Fingers
some stuff.
Yeah, let's do all the stuff.
I'm into
Yeah,
it.
because you're still kind of shooting, right? But more just your own stuff.
Yeah, all for myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, smart.
Yeah.
It works. On that note, go
And on that
to
note-
our OnlyFans.
Bye.
Bye, love
Bye,
you.
guys.
Thank you guys